Welcome to another educational lesson from Francisco Perez. There we go, going in. Pork and why it's bad for you. Video is called Shocking Must See. Why eating pork is bad for humans. Pork.
Allah has forbidden everything that harms the body and the mind and saps the strength. Everything that is harmful to a person is not permitted. Allah says in the Quran, "Say, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, I do not find within that which was revealed to me anything forbidden to one who would eat it, unless it be a dead animal, or blood spilled out, or the flesh of a swine. Indeed, it is impure." There are reasons that the meat of the pigs become more saturated with toxins than many of its counterpart farm animals. The first reason has to do with the digestive system of a pig. Pigs are the filthiest animals on the earth, with the most parasites and diseases than any other animal that mankind consumes. Pigs are commonly associated with eating not only their own feces, but of other animals and humans. In parts of the third world, it is the best scavenger known that exists in the villages that do not have modern toilets, and the villages excrete in open air. Excreta is cleared by pigs. Pig farm with 5,000 animals produces as much fecal waste as a city of 50,000 people. Pig digests whatever it eats rather quickly, in up to about 4 hours. On the other hand, cow takes a good 24 hours to digest what it's eaten. During the digestive process, animals including humans, city of 50,000 people. A pig digests whatever it eats rather quickly, in up to about 4 hours. On the other hand, cow takes a good 24 hours to digest what it's eaten. During the digestive process, animals including humans get rid of excess toxins as well as other components of the food eaten that could be dangerous to health. Pigs' bodies contain many.
Alright, so this extra time, the 24 hours that it takes for a cow to expel the food, has added time to remove toxins. The pigs takes 4 hours, so none of those toxins is removed. They just get rid of the fecal matter so that they can replace it with more food.
Toxins, worms and latent diseases. Although some of these infestations are harbored in other animals, modern veterinarians say that pigs are far more predisposed to the illnesses than any other animal. This could be because pigs like to scavenge and will eat any kind of food. Since the pig's digestive system operates rather basically, many of these toxins remain in the system to be stored in more than adequate fatty tissues. Pigs also do not have any sweat glands. Sweat glands are a tool for the body to get rid of toxins. This leaves more toxins in the pig's body. The pork and swine industry has been continually plagued, and continues to be so to this day, by a wide variety of hazardous infections and diseases. Even pigs that are carefully reared in pig farms are still infected.
And I can attest to this. I'm a butcher. I worked for many different butchering supermarkets, and when I cut the pigs, a lot of the pigs had cancer, had pusses and cysts.
According to the surprising new investigation on pigs that were raised in the US, 69% of all raw pork samples tested, nearly 200 samples in total, were contaminated with dangerous bacteria Yersinia enterocolitica, which causes fever and gastrointestinal illnesses with diarrhea, vomiting and stomach cramps. Pigs carry a variety of parasites in their bodies and meat. Some of these parasites are difficult to kill, even when cooking. This is the reason there are so many warnings out there about eating undercooked pork. Pork poses certain health risks from bacteria and resistant bacteria that causes infection and viruses. Shocking new research has shown that millions of people are living with parasites inside them from eating pork. Here are some of the deadliest parasites found in humans that consume pork. Pork tapeworm parasite, Latenia solium. The pork tapeworm is number 1 in top 10 list of foodborne parasites in the world, affecting 50 million people worldwide, killing 50,000 people each year worldwide. Though these figures are both likely to be underestimated according to the researchers. Tapeworm infections are common in Asia, Africa, the Philippines, South America, parts of the southern Europe and pockets of North America. The pork tapeworm can affect your heart, brain, lungs and diaphragm. In 60% of the diagnosed cases of pork tapeworm, the victim has cysts inside the brain, and with the cysts in the brain you get seizures, coma, hallucinations or even possible death. The pork tapeworm forms cysts inside the tissue of the pig. When the human eats pork, they get infected. Adult tapeworms living inside the intestines of humans produce up to 50,000 eggs each. In the human gut, the cysts form into an adult tapeworm, where these can grow up to several meters long. The adult worms lay eggs that have passed into human feces. If the pig eats the feces, the pig grows cysts inside its muscles, tissues, and the life cycle repeats. Tapeworm larvae, brain parasites, is an increasingly serious public health problem around the world. Pork tapeworm larvae can create cavities in the brain and other parts of the body tissues where their tiny bodies can grow sometimes into tapeworms 2 to 7 meters long and can live up to 25 years in the human body. CT scans have shown affected patients having so many wormholes in the brain making it appear similar to a starry sky. Chronic headaches and pork tapeworms. New research has shown that the cause of chronic headaches, such as migraines and tension, headache symptoms may be a sign of pork tapeworm inside the brain. The most common cause of adult onset epilepsy in the world is caused by pork tapeworm. 50 million people around the world are affected by epilepsy, many of which are caused by pork tapeworm. It can cause brain tumors, depression, dementia, aneurysm. Aneurysm occurs when part of the blood vessel, artery or cardiac chamber swells, potentially causing headaches, dizziness, seizures, other neurological disorders and sudden death. This one parasite alone should be enough to stop you from eating pork. Neurocystic cirrhosis is the result of accidental ingestion of eggs of Taenia solium, i.e. pork tapeworm, usually due to the contamination of food by people with Taeniasis tapeworm infection. The closer scientists look at the epidemiology of a disease, the worse it becomes. In one study in Peru, researchers found 37% of people showed signs of having been infected at some point. The review of the scientific literature concluded that somewhere between 11 million and 29 million people have neurocystic cirrhosis in Latin America alone. Tapeworms are also common in the other regions of the world, such as Asia and Africa. People have a higher risk for getting neurocystic cirrhosis by swallowing parasite eggs. If they have a pork tapeworm infection, this is called autoinfection, live in the household with someone else who has a pork tapeworm, or even eat food made by someone with a pork tapeworm infection. The roundworm's parasite. One of the biggest concerns with eating pork meat is trichinosis or trichinosis. This is an infection that humans get from eating pork that contains the larvae of the trichinella worm. Over 1 billion people are thought to be infected with roundworm. You get the worm by ingesting food or water which contains worm eggs. A large percentage of this 1 billion has been linked to consuming pork. One roundworm can produce nearly 250,000 eggs a day. In the US and Canada alone, 1 in 6 people has
My moderate to severe. Chronic plaque psoriasis made a simple trip to the grocery store. An important conversation with my dermatologist about
nearly 250,000 eggs a day. In the US and Canada alone, 1 in 6 people has trichinosis from eating trichina worms, which are found in pork. Many people have no symptoms to warn them of this, and when they do, they resemble symptoms of many other illnesses. These worms are not noticed during meat inspections, nor does salting or smoking kill them. Common symptoms of trichinosis include nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, headaches, fever, chills, coughs, swollen eyes, muscle pain, aching joints, coordination problems, heart issues, and even breathing problems. According to research, these symptoms can last for weeks, and more serious conditions months on end. The roundworm Trichinella spiralis causes trichinosis. As in tapeworm infections, the mature worms are largely confined to the intestines where symptoms include nausea, heartburn, dyspepsia, diarrhea, and synophilia. The larvae can migrate through the body, producing edema, muscle pains, fever, and weakness. The greatest danger is the larvae reaches the brain, where they can cause serious neurological deficits, such as ataxia or respiratory paralysis, and even death. Death results from a rare form of stroke, myocarditis, encephalitis, and pneumonia. Other helminth parasites, large multicellular organisms found in pork, include pinworm, hookworm, and ascaris worms. There are dozens of other worms, germs, diseases, and bacteria which are commonly found in pigs, many of which are specific to the pig or found in greater frequency in pigs. Pigs are also primary carriers of the hepatitis E virus, the HEV, the PRRS virus, the porcine, reproductive, and respiratory syndrome, the Nipah virus, the meningococcal virus. Each of these parasites and viruses can lead to serious health problems or even death. Eating pork increases your waistline and increases your chance of developing deadly diseases such as heart diseases, diabetes, arthritis, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, asthma, and impotence. Heart disease risks. Eating processed meats such as bacon, ham, and sausages can increase the risk of heart disease and diabetes. Processed meats are already linked to the higher chance of developing bowel cancer, but a roundup of research has now shown a link with other conditions. 20 worldwide published studies involving more than 1 million people. It found a 42% higher risk of heart disease and a 19% increased risk of type 2 diabetes for each daily serving, on average of 50 grams of processed meat. A 50-gram serving is roughly equivalent to 2 rashers of bacon or 1 hot dog. Bladder cancer risks. Another disadvantage pork is that it increases your risk of bladder cancer if you eat well done or burnt pork often. Pork cooked at high temperatures creates heterocyclic amines, HCAs, which can cause cancer. A 12-year study involving 844 patients with bladder cancer and 878 patients without bladder cancer gathered nutritional information and found that patients who ate pork and other red meats well done had a significantly higher risk of bladder cancer. Liver cirrhosis. Pork is causing liver cirrhosis at a similar rate to that of consuming excessive alcohol. Several factors about pork consumption that could be causing liver damage and toxicity. There is an obvious fact that most of all pork products in the West consumed are processed, such as smoked ham, cold cuts, bacon and sausages. These products contain high levels of nitrate preservatives, which are known as carcinogens and can contribute to the development of liver cancer. In addition, processed pork ingredients are often heated to extremely high temperatures for prolonged periods of time, resulting in the production of hundreds of harmful free radicals that are known to wreak havoc on health, particularly liver health. A relation between pork consumption and cirrhosis of the liver is apparent across countries and has been consistently maintained for the last 40 years. In countries with low alcohol consumption, no correlation was obtained between alcohol consumption and cirrhosis. However, a significant correlation was obtained between cirrhosis and pork. A similar relationship was seen in the 10 Canadian provinces, where there were no correlation between cirrhosis, mortality and alcohol consumption, but a significant correlation was obtained with pork. Pork fat has a high saturated fatty acid and cholesterol contents. Diets high in pork have been linked in population studies to higher risks of esophageal, thyroid, lung, pancreatic, liver, bladder, colorectal and prostate cancers. There are remarkably strong correlations between pork consumption and liver disease, liver cancer and multiple sclerosis. Research has indicated there is an association between pork consumption and the primary liver cancer, hepatocellular carcinoma. Pork and multiple sclerosis. Researchers looked for other diseases that correlation with pork consumption and hit upon multiple sclerosis. The connection is remarkable. A significant correlation was obtained between prevalence of multiple sclerosis and pork consumption. Breast cancer risks have been found in patients who consume pork. Pork and gout. Because pork is moderately high in purines, consuming excessive or frequent amounts can increase your uric acid levels, leading to worsened gout symptoms. When pork is eaten, it can wreak havoc on the body. It tends to have more fat than beef or chicken. This can cause high blood pressure, high cholesterol, cancer, sodium retention and heart problems. Pig meat contains excessive quantities of histamines and imidazole compounds, which can lead to itching and inflammation. Eating pork can lead to gallstones and obesity due to its high cholesterol and saturated fat contents. The more research that is done on pigs, the more it is gradually revealing that this meat is not fit for human consumption. So, to round up, as you can see, pork, processed, fresh, raw, fully cooked, all have serious health implications. Allah says in the Quran, say, O Muhammad, peace be upon him, I do not find within that which was revealed to me anything forbidden to one who would eat it, unless it be a dead animal, or blood spilled out, or the flesh of swine, for indeed it is impure. This is why Allah has forbidden this meat.
Enter at your own risk.